right, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. Baseball After Dark. Just got home from the city. Brad's. So there's two casts in her ballet that she's in right now, and so there's two girls that are alternates. Like she's an alternate for a girl, and that girl's an alternate for her. Other girl got sick tonight. She had to take over. Did a little switcheroo, and I did the driving. So we just got home. That's why I backed up the stream 15 more minutes. But it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for being in here. See, we got a few people already in the room. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Can't wait for baseball and all that good stuff. All right. So we're going to do AOS preview today. I guess we'll start kicking it around on some other stuff here. Oop. Can't even see my iPad right now. We're off to a hot start. We'll fix that. Let's see here. Yep. All right, we're back. All right, hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's doing great. My chat is all weird. But anyway, yeah, New York City. So I was we were in the city, so I had to drive back up to where I live. So that's how it goes. Ooh, in Fort Myers. So excited to see my Red Sox tomorrow. That's awesome. They have a pretty good little backfield area. You can walk around there on foot. I feel like it's solid. Solid. Fort Myers, though. Yeesh. Not my favorite. Not my favorite spot, to say the least. Anyway, we're trying out this new AO right here. I don't know. I have some other options, but we're trying it out for today. All right, so first thing we should talk about probably is the union stuff. I'm not going to talk too long about it, but Robert Angotti tweeted out WBC. Former Go and You, that's right. I don't want to go too deep into this because not a lot's really actually come out about it in all reality. But it started here. Tony Clark steps down. It's crazy. I was looking at it. How many years was he in charge for? I think it was was it over a decade? Since 2013, yeah. So you're talking 13 years. So this was a big deal. Obviously, as somebody who was a big part of the union for a while, this was crazy. I basically looked at my phone in the morning, stepped away to make a coffee, looked at my phone in the morning, and I was just like, oh man, this is not what I expected to see today. So anyway, things have moved pretty quickly, though. They've already kept pretty much the status quo. Bruce Meyer was elected, I saw recently, as executive director now. He will be the latest in the long line of executive directors, and now we finally are back to not having a player in there. The Tony Clark thing was crazy from the beginning because Michael Weiner passed away suddenly from a brain tumor. And that was our guy. We always felt like we had an ace in the hole. We had a Harvard-educated labor lawyer who had been through the wars, who could, break down complex topics into simple bites. And then he had just gotten the gig too. Don Fear had left the union. Michael took over. And he was very well liked, very well respected, and things were going well. Next thing you know, he passes away. Tony comes in. Tony had been kind of the player guy, the player liaison at the time. One thing Tony was really good at was vilifying the other side and scaring the pants off of you, which I think is very important as an executive director to kind of galvanize the group. He was definitely always really good at that. So anyway, he was under investigation for potentially some money stuff going on. And they ended up doing an internal review, and the internal review revealed this inappropriate relationship with a sister-in-law, which I don't know any details on, obviously. And so then basically he was going to be fired anyway. You could kind of feel this coming the last few years. It just felt like the group wanted a different leadership, not necessarily a different ideology, though. I think the ideology remains the same, and that's kind of my take on it. Bruce is a labor lawyer. At the end of the day, the other side doesn't like Bruce, and that's probably who you should elect whoever the other side doesn't like for the most part in these situations. It would be nice if there was more. I spoke about it the other day. I would love more labor peace. But it does seem like with the current powers that be in charge on both sides, it's not really a realistic thing right now. So it's going to be intriguing, but hopefully, um, I mean, this doesn't mean anything, is my point. It doesn't mean much, so we can move on from it relatively quickly. What matters is the CBA that's coming up. That's pretty much it. So let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. All right, first of all, thanks for stopping in and saying hey. I'm doing okay. I'm getting over my cough, but I mean, it's also just been a day. But I'm good, though. I'm good. Thanks for the concern, though, Victoria. I appreciate that. All right, what else we got here? Possible reason Clark left. Well, I mean, we see, obviously, there was some shenanigans. Last year went to Tampa twice, which was so fun. Hubby's a Yankee fan, so it's your turn this year. I like that. You guys are splitting it up. Red Sox, Yankees coexisting. It's amazing. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking as well, Phil. I think that, Bruce has been the lead negotiator for a long time. Tony brought in Bruce. Tony, I think, to his credit, felt overwhelmed in that number one spot during bargaining. The league side is incredibly impressive in the room. So they needed to fight fire with fire. So that's where Bruce comes from. But I think, yeah, this is somewhat of a trial. And the players, of course, are going to shape the union whichever way that they want to. And I do think that there's a lot on players' minds these days. And I do think that depending on how this goes, anything and everything is on the table. I will say that. But for now, Bruce, they're going to keep rolling with Bruce. Losing Wiener really hurt the union. He was going to rank up there with Miller. I mean, that's how it felt to me. My early spring trainings, he was the guy that made me inspired to be a part of the union at the time. He just was so damn sharp and made it seem very simple, and things were kind of good. There wasn't as much doom and gloom. It was a little different. All right, what else we got here? Now, the investigation was from within, like the players hired somebody to investigate their leadership. So that's how that went. That's how that went down. All right, what else we got here? Is it important for the head of the MLBPA to be a former player? I would argue quite the opposite. I mean, of course, there's exceptions to every rule. But for me, I think we liked it not being a player, actually, in this circumstance. You need somebody who has an iron stomach and understands these things, these dynamics, these power dynamics. And I don't know, being a player, like you're busy playing for a long time. You can be smart and outstanding on the field, and it doesn't always translate into every role in life. Let's be realistic. Oh, you got it, my love. Adam, will the solution be a salary cap or will it be revamped TV revenue sharing? So, I don't know. I don't have the slightest idea how this is going to all play out. I will say it's up to how together the players really are, because in the last vote, the executive subcommittee voted against the deal that ultimately went through, as well as 3 teams, and yet every other team voted to play. So, I don't know. One thing about the current system is it does create a stars and scrubs type situation, but the percentages are way out of whack. It's like 80 to 20. So 80%, the large majority of the players are guys that are much more concerned about what happens with minor league rights and those rights in the 0 to 3 years and those ARB rights. They're not really thinking about breaking the bank as much as that 20%. So I think those dynamics are important, but I also think there's huge TV contracts coming up after this year. Fox, TBS, that's a big potential revenue grab for the league. And if the league's in a good place, I think that could be the thing that saves us this time around and keeps games going. Just raw economics. Can't mess up, can't kill the golden goose. I do think that both sides are still dug in on their stances, and maybe the CBA after this one will be nuclear, but I'm hopeful that this one won't be. Hopeful, but who knows? All right, what else we got? So a lot of people have been floating these players that are very fiery and competitive. Bass is already on the executive sub, so he has plenty of power within the union. Very much very influential. But it's just like, again, I think you like to have an ace in your sleeve. I had a crazy idea. Would players ever give on guaranteed contracts under any circumstance? Hell no. That's funny though. I feel like the players need a lot, really need to get them to free agency quicker. It'll be hard to convince owners without a cap. I'm anti-cap. Look, it's hard. This is like, so here's the thing. Like, in all honesty, it's either you fight tooth and nail and you don't blow up the sport to try to argue over some of the levers in the current system for eternity, and the owner's probably incrementally winning out in that route, honestly, anyway. But overall, that would be the idea. Maintain the status quo as good as possible and take small wins where you can get them, particularly try to aim them towards the 0 to 3s. Or you blow up the whole system and try to reimagine the whole thing, and that can look a million different ways. But in order to do that, Bruce won't be the guy. So this negotiation would have to go horribly wrong for the players to want to then blow up the whole system, and is my point. As of now, they're still on the train of, we're not caving on the cap. We don't believe anything you say, yada, yada, yada. So there's a lot of stuff there. But again, I think it takes a little bit more pain to then maybe blow up the whole system. So we'll see. Nobody in the world would relinquish guaranteed salary. It's true. And it's one of the things about NFL that's crazy. I mean, those guys are out there getting hurt and then missing checks. And like, their sport is pure violence. Obviously it's the best thing in baseball is the guaranteed nature of it. You can understand why it's frustrating on the other side too. But, this is a big business. They're making a lot of money. Everybody's making a lot of money. And I actually think baseball should be making more money. And honestly, I think that might be the key to everything. Make more money. Just keep making more money, and then you can spread it out and the pie's bigger, and then you still argue over things, but you'll be fat cats arguing over things. I think it's find a way to get the younger players paid and a lot of problems go away. But anyway, we'll see. Would the players be open to the NHL escrow system? It's so funny because most players in baseball have no idea that this is a thing in the NHL. And I explain this to them, and they're like mind blown by it, because you don't realize how good you have it until you take a gander at some of the other situations. And then people will say, oh, look at the NBA. Yeah, but the NBA has way less roster spots. So you might have a guy making $70 million pretty soon here or whatever, but they have way less roster spots, and they sell their entire TV package as a group. So they're bringing in more revenue via that central revenue, which gets dispersed out equally to all the teams. It's not as regionally based as MLB is, so it's just a different system. There's a million ways to bake this cake, and I'm not smart enough to do it, so I opt out of this conversation. But at the same time, it's fascinating to see what does happen. And this was a big moment, a seminal moment, a pivotal moment in the history of the league, really, and MLBPA, because anytime there's a shift in leadership at the very highest level, it's like a new commissioner getting hired right now. Like, the head of the union is a crazy important position. And really, this is probably the most seamless, nothing really changes situation, but in a way, it's a sad end to an interesting and complicated Tony Clark legacy. But we're just get your popcorn ready, or just don't watch it this winter, because it's going to suck and it's going to be painful all around. So that's pretty much all I have on this topic. And now we can go talk about some baseball stuff, because there is spring training going on. And I started studying. I have Yankees hot stove on Friday, and I get to watch Elmer Rodriguez pitch that day and then talk about it a little bit on the show. So I was just studying him a bit earlier while I was waiting for my daughter at ballet. Then I was studying Carlos Lagrange a little bit. So I'm getting excited to start to see these guys actually go out there and pitch all around the league and watch more baseball. So let's talk some baseball right now. There hasn't been a lot that went on. It's still minor league signing season. Giolito's still not signing yet, which sucks to see. More injuries happened. This is the first one. We already knew about these two guys, but now they both go under the knife, both for bone spurs, bone chips. Typically, this is like, these are weird injuries. And like, look, I've been critical of teams that don't keep their pitchers healthy, but maybe we need to take a closer look at the Atlanta Braves. I mean, it's bad, 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 bad. Like 4/5 of their rotation was on the 60-day IL last year, and now they're starting off the season this year completely not where they want to be, you know. Tan Overland's got it. Braves have been having tons of starting pitching injuries the last few years. It's scary to see. Holmes has had some injury problems. Ronaldo Lopez is a complete injury question mark every time. As good as he is. And honestly, it's crazy because when you watch him, it looks like it's so effortless the way he throws. You would think this guy will never get hurt. But he does. Strider, the Tommy John, again, we don't know what we're getting. And like Sale, yeah, he's been the most durable guy in this time frame of his career. But if you remember him in Boston, there was a couple years that were rough. So, you know, I do not like your new AO. Okay, so let's change it then. I have some other options here. Hold on. Here, we could do a crowdsource here. All right. Zach made a whole bunch of different stuff today. What do we think of this yellow AO? We're going to take a quick moment here in the chat to see what well, I'll just wait. I'll keep talking and then I'll see when she pops up or whoever pops up. Like it or hate it. There's other ones too. Those two designs though, the slanted box and then this. I think they're cool. Bubble letters. Anyway. But yeah, Smith, Schauer, Waldrop, and Schwellenbach now. Who the heck knows when they're coming back? There's no timeline. There's no timetable. And also, a lot of times, like when you have bone damage, bone chipping, bone spurring, and you go in there and you take it out, it kind of goes to another thing. It kind of lends itself towards maybe there's going to be some elbow instability in that joint pretty quickly. So it's a risky proposition, but I also get if you can't really, like, if your arm gets locked out and you're dealing with a lot of pain, you can't pitch like that either. So it's ominous. These letters are better, but the yellow got to go. All right, hold on. Time out. Man. All right, what about this color? Did my wife write in here at all? No, she's probably busy with some kid somewhere. What's happening with the Braves reminds me of what happened with the Dodgers a few years ago back when we had Lance Lynn pitching postseason games. Sale was great last year, but playoffs. That was 2 years ago. Last year, they didn't even make it to the playoffs. 2 years ago, yeah, he couldn't pitch all of a sudden at the very end. That's true. The year he won the Cy Young. Somebody's here. Oh, hi, Oakley.
When are you coming up?
Oh, like a while. Just try to close your eyes.
Do you know where my remote is?
No.
Because it's like, I don't know where it is.
Well, if anything, take the white one from down here and see if it works in the meantime.
Okay, got it.
More tech support. Kind of prefer having a background on the AO. Okay. Oh, Victoria's not happy about the ABS starting this year. So, funny you bring this up real quick. I was on a Zoom today with Morgan Sword of MLB, who him and another guy, they broke down what the ABS is going to look like on the broadcast. Because now that I'm a broadcaster, I get to go on these Zooms and see what's going on. Like, just in case, you know, David Cohn sprains his ankle on the way to the stadium one day and they need to call for the reliever and I have to go in there. I need to know what's going on. So I watched the Zoom. I do think people are underestimating this a little bit. This is going to be actually a fun product. There's going to be a couple challenges every day. It's going to be kind of like, ooh, did he get it right? Did he get it wrong? There's a little bit of drama to it. There's a little bit of skill to it. There's also a little bit of embarrassment to it. So there's a lot of human emotion to it, tied in with the robotics of this. And it's not every pitch, so it's going to be intriguing. But like from the overlays that I saw today and the demonstrations that I saw today, it's going to be pretty seamless. It's about 15 seconds tops, the whole operation. So it'll add about, they project it to add about 1 minute onto game times. If they project an average of 4 challenges per game, that's 1 minute at 15 seconds a pop. So anyway, that's the situation with that. Oof, we got a confident Met fan in the chat. Guys, somebody want to tell Zach that got to be careful here? Oh, wait, he already said it in the second half of his sentence. I didn't see that. Never been more confident for the Mets to win the East. With that being said, Mets play on ancient burial ground. I'm sorry. You know ball. My bad. All right, what else we got? Can they use the font color scheme angle from the baseball and coffee logo? Yeah, we're going to have to figure all that out to match the logo. Okay, I'll give the feedback to Zach. Give the feedback to Zach. He's been playing around with the different colors and different things. Giving some X-Men vibes. Nice. We love X-Men. Very, very happy for X-Men. That reminds me of my good buddy Jared. He's not on here tonight, but I want to congratulate Jared also for the love of his life. Michaela Schifrin winning the gold today. I know he woke up at 3:30 to watch the first heat, went back to bed, woke up again to watch the final, went back to bed, and when he woke up today was feeling triumphant. So just want to congratulate him on that real quick. But his AO now is so bad. Oh, you hate this one? Oh my God, Brett Michelle. Okay, hold on. What about this color? Oh, no. You guys don't like the yellow. Hold on. What about the black box? We'll try that for now. Super glue and air tag to that remote. Maybe the data don't back this up, but I feel like the Dodgers run their arms through a meat grinder. You know what's interesting is I think they kind of do too, and but they will take on anybody with any injury history because they will slow play every pitcher. They are literally playing for the postseason at this point. They know they can accumulate more than enough depth WAR to just like be in the mix or probably win the division every year anyway. And they give everybody a vacation, which somehow is not Phantom ILing. Somehow it's not. But don't get me started. Would I be willing to replace Tony Clark? Hell no. No, that's crazy. AO just keeps getting worse. Okay, all right. Well, you're not dissing me. You're dissing Zach. It's not me. So we'll just take it off for now. How about that? Boop. Goodbye. Goodbye for a little bit. Saw some broadcaster ditching the strike zone box. That's what I'm most excited for. They're not really doing the zone box. They're ditching the, you know how like sometimes the ball comes in and it's like filled or sometimes it's hollow, whether it's a ball or a strike. They're ditching that. So I think that's interesting. I think it's going to be fun. I really do. I think it's going to be very fun. Are you going to throw to Kyle Teal for Team Italy? I think I am. How's the arm? Doing better. I have 4 more mount sessions before Arizona, so let's see. We'll see how good those go. All right, what else we got? What else we got? So those were the injuries. There was some minor league deals recently, I want to say. There's a whole bunch of tiny deals today I saw. Where were they? Mitch Garver back to the Mariners on a minor league deal. This has been a talking point I saw because the Red Sox have too many outfielders, and they're literally saying that maybe Yoshida shouldn't even be on the roster. Speaking of that, I saw that the projected outfield in the WBC for the for the Japanese team is like supposed to be like the worst defense ever. So let's just really quick try to find that. The 3 guys that they, maybe I don't think they probably switched it on here, but it was like Kondo, who's like basically a DH, I think Seiya. Yeah, I don't think Morishita's playing. There was somebody else, but like in order to fit all their best hitters in the lineup, they have to run out. They have to run out there a pretty bad defense, which I thought was kind of funny. But anyway. Thanks, Brett. I think Dodgers are going for variance and up depth that they can go for high risk, high reward players, develop young guys in a risky way. I think they have the ability to push for optimal peak performance. They don't have to play the long game because they like have less overall major leaguers. I mean, as much as I want every team to figure out how to keep everybody healthy, on some level, like pushing for the top performance makes sense too, especially while they're cheap and you can just get another guy to step up. So it's kind of scary. Am I on plane flights? Am I uncomfortable? Yes, very uncomfortable. Here it is. Yoshida, Seiya, and Kondo. Bad, bad, bad. That will be a brutal outfield. Anyway, I really don't think there's much else to look at, so we'll just go right into the AL West. Gratterall's hurt, but it's like, is he hurt or are they just slow playing him? There's no way of knowing with the Dodgers. Conforto, okay. A couple claims. I mean, it's getting exciting because the games are starting. So like, but there are big players out there. So I don't know. This is like where it really gets scary. Games are starting in spring training, and then you're not going to be in there. So all right, AL West. Let's get it in. All right, AL West. Last year, this was how they finished. Mariners finally dethroned the Astros. Astros had won the division, 6, 7 years in a row before that. They finally slipped. They almost had them. It got real tight there at the end, but the Mariners pulled through. Astros number 2, Rangers, who had a really effed up year last year, dominating on the mound, couldn't hit a lick, ended up being 500 and very frustrating and disappointing to watch. I feel like the A's were like an exciting 10 games under 500. And then the Angels, it's just like it's the Angels. So where are we at this year? Well, for me, we'll start with the Mariners. They are definitely the best team in this division in my mind. I think it would be a big upset if they don't win the division. Not to say that there aren't some lurking breakout potential in this division, but for me, this is like kind of pretty close to a complete ball club. Mariners will be better this year than last year, too. I got them making the World Series. I am tempted to say they might be the best team in the American League. It's a bold statement, but they are freaking good, man. The Brendan Donovan trade, when it happened, I was excited about that. This is such a better offense than they had over the past, 4 or 5 years where they've had this young pitching staff. Certainly 2 years ago, I mean, Justin Turner was calling out ownership when he was on the team. Like, we need some more hitting. Like, you cannot not go with this pitching staff. And now they've gone. Donovan, Naylor is new and re-signed. Randy they had brought in over there. Some of their young guys like Canzone have been effective. And then Julio, when he gets it going, shows his level. And obviously Cal hit 60 pumps last year. So they also have Colt Emerson coming, who's going to be a factor on this club. And it's just such a better offense than they had before. Now, granted, horrible place to hit. Horrible place to hit. But that's a good lineup. Much better lineup. And it's a little bit of a mixture of everything. I mean, Brendan Donovan is a kind of a do-it-all contact type, gap-to-gap pop. Then you got a home run slugger, and then you have a 5-tool everything guy, followed by a really tough, complicated guy to pitch to, followed by a total wild card in a Rosarena, just free-swinging wild card that when he's locked in, he's amazing, followed by a platoon guy. Like, it's just like they're tough. They're going to be annoying as shit. And then on the mound, they're all right-handed, and I know Kate Anderson might make it up there, but this is a pretty damn good rotation, all kind of in their prime ages. We know about all these guys: Wu, Gilbert, Castillo, Kirby, Miller. Now Castillo, there's always a chance he could be starting to slide back a little bit. In fact, he might be the guy I predict to slide back a little bit. But let me go look at his numbers from last year. He ends up going 32 starts again. So he's been durable, arguably the most durable in the game up there. I mean, he doesn't get to 200 innings, but he's right there. 180 and 2/3 last year, 3.54. Solid across the board. Won't walk you. Velo's still 95. It's just like when I watch him, I wonder like at what point does he start to wear down a little bit? He's definitely put a lot of innings on this arm, and when you look at him from like a side camera, like his arm action's very interesting to me. Like he just kind of like takes his arm and he kind of like chicken wings it and then throws it. Like he's not really doing a whole lot with it, which on one hand is great because there's no wasted movement. But on the other hand, like it just seems like he's settled more and more into this like I can do this throw, but I can't really move my arm out of this range type of thing. I mean, his arm angle is way down at 15 degrees. That has been dropping. So he was up at 20, 18, 17, 18, and then 15 the last 2 years. Hasn't really affected the bottom line. He's still good. But I'm just wondering when it's going to drop out. But all that being said, they changed this up a little bit. They put run value here in these tables. That's new. That's brand new. That just happened. All right, MLB. Yeah, and the fastball miles an hour, like it's still above average, but it's not like it was. So, he's really good, and I think this is the most important thing that he's adjusted. He's consistently good at throwing strikes now, but he's not dangerous. He's not dangerous anymore. He's clearly getting hit harder. You look at the hard hit and the barrels have gone the wrong direction. He's not a ground ball worm killer anymore. He's got zero extension. So once that velocity drops back a little bit, I'm already telling you right now, I'm going to predict Castillo to take a step back this year. That's my prediction. But either way, it's a really good 5. They have some other pitchers coming, including Kate Anderson, 3rd overall pick last year at LSU. Should be a quick mover, good pitchability guy. And then the bullpen, I love the Ferrer trade. They grab a guy who's lefty, 99 with sink, really good changeup. Contact guy, but on the ground to pair with these other guys in the back end. Now, they did throw Bizarro probably too much in the postseason last year. And I don't know how Brash will hold up or Munoz will hold up, but the 3 of those guys are pretty good. Ferrer and Spires, a nice double lefties. And then the bottom, they'll turn it up. Vargas has good stuff as well, but I mean, it's a complete team. I like every aspect of their team: defense, pitching, power, contact hitting, base running, relief pitching, starting pitching, you name it. I kind of like it. So they're definitely my team. I picked to click this year for the AL West. I think they'll comfortably win the division this year, but we'll see. All right, what we got in the chat? Mariners are a really likable team, in my opinion, besides being good. Is Robles still under suspension for throwing the bat at the pitcher? I have no idea. Has the batter's eye been changed? I always heard guys had a hard time picking the ball up. There's a really bad glare situation there, and guys do have a hard time picking the ball up. And on top of that, it just doesn't seem to travel there, and like it just feels kind of deep out there in like right center. You don't see a lot of balls go very far out there. You have to pull them down the lines pretty good. But yeah, something with the batter's eye. Maybe the weather a little bit, just a touch. Hard to say. Am I worried that Gilbert, Kirby, and Miller all miss time? Yeah, I mean, you don't want to see that. I couldn't be higher on Gilbert and Kirby either. I mean, I like Miller as well. Obviously, Gilbert and Kirby are my 2 favorites. But yeah, I don't want them to get hurt. I'm a little concerned. They both ended up throwing quite a bit anyway. And, one thing about Logan Gilbert is Logan Gilbert definitely puts a lot of torque through his body when he throws, but he's so freaking good. I mean, look at the last 2 years. Look at the whip. He's punching tickets. He's got a really interesting arsenal. He didn't look as good, I thought, in that Toronto series, but the split, it's a low spin. It's a weird pitch, and I like weird. and he's a really good competitor with a really good walk rate. I mean, anytime you're punching out 32.3% and walking 5.8%, you're the man. So he still threw 131 innings. I am a little concerned about that. George, it was really just a tough start when he first got out of the gate. But we all know about George and the low walk rate. He's consistently low walk rate. I feel like if the batted ball luck turns around, then, he's got really huge upside. So I'm a fan of both of these guys. Keep them on the damn field. Like, if I'm the Mariners, I'm doing everything I can to keep these guys healthy. Like, that's everything. That's so, you cannot win without that. If their rotation starts to drop, then the team's not as good anymore. That's their superpower at the end of the day, especially in the regular season, to collect wins. You have a good pitcher out there every time, you get a chance to win every night. Vargas has some really nasty stuff too. He does. He does. Yep, George Kirby from Rye. Love George. Big fan. Huge fan. Greetings from Florida. Enjoy Port St. Lucie down there. Yes. Luke Raley, solid bench on the bat. Solid bat on the bench. Oh, and I love the Ref Snyder move. I didn't even mention that. Really good platoon move. I mean, between Canzone and Ref Snyder, their DH spot's gonna rake. They're gonna rake. It's non-traditional, but it's gonna work. It's gonna be very good. If I had to lock up one of these arms, who would it be? It would be Kirby, even over Gilbert. For me, it'd be Kirby. But it's a hard choice. It's a tough choice. And I think I agree with you. I think Gilbert's the better pitcher right now. He's elite. So I love these guys a lot. Make baseball weird again. Yep. Teammate's been on my show. We've been talking a little bit. Is Kirby's strike throwing almost good to a fault by creating more hittable pitches? Yeah, there's some element to that, but there's a little bit of like it's like you're making a witch's brew out there of like kind of how you want to lay out those pitches and what your attack plans are. But the thing is like he already passes the prerequisite. He can execute everything, right? So if you can already execute everything, then really it just comes down to making great choices and creating slightly better action on pitches that makes more sense when your arsenal starts to shifting things along with it. And once he finds that right mixture, I mean, we already know the command is there and the velocity is there and the youth is there. So to me, for those reasons, and really it's like command is something that does come and go for some pitchers. It can ebb and flow, but for him, it's been so consistently great, like honestly, historically great, that's why I would go with that. I just feel like it's a super high floor. Even if he doesn't improve, he's still going to be very useful. And if he does improve, he could be Cy Young. So we'll see. Robbie Ref is a hidden gem. Great signing. Totally agree. A couple people in the chat here for Rob. Too bad Mariner pitchers aren't seen by a bigger audience being on the West Coast. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Their games are on late. But guess what? Baseball and coffee in the morning when they have something interesting happen. We'll be watching it. We'll be watching it. What is rake? Raking is like slang for hitting really good. So it's like you'd say Aaron Judge rakes. Shohei rakes. Juan Soto rakes. Those guys rake. Don't know why, but that's a baseballism. I wish expansion came to Vancouver. They'd have a natural rival. Yeah, that was actually floated in the Discord the other day. Don't see it happening. I guess their land is too expensive. There would be broadcast battling, territorial rights issues between them and Seattle. But Vancouver, what a beautiful place. I actually almost moved there when I was a kid, believe it or not, which is insane. All right, so here's my pick to click. I already picked I made my pick to fall off a little bit, which would be Castillo, and my pick to click this year for the Mariners, and I'm a fan of a lot of these guys, but it's Julio Rodriguez. It's Julio's year. He's going to have a monster freaking year. He just is. He's going to get off to a better start this time. He's playing in the WBC. Somehow in my mind, that translates to him seeing more pitches earlier, playing better earlier, and getting off to a hot start and then carrying that all the way through the summer. If his OPS isn't over 850 this year, shame on him. He's too talented. 32 home runs, 30 bags. That should be the floor for him right now in his age 25 season or whatever it is coming up. He's just too good. He's got a great swing. I did feel like I could pitch him pretty easily, but like again, I was really good at getting out righties and my game worked. But my point is, even when he's bad, he should get free hits. He's fast. Look at that sprint speed. He's fast. His defense is electric, but he also swings it at 96 percentile bat speed, so every single bit of his toolsiness is there. I mean, he's ridiculous. But this is the truth. All he has to do is chase less. But I think this could be the year that he gets that number into the 30th percentile. And then if he does that, sky's the limit. So Julio's my guy for this year for the Mariners. I have them finishing in first. And then who do I think? Oh, we didn't look at Zips. Got to go look at Zips. Zippy Zips. Oh, hold on. It was what did we do? We looked up last time. 2026 MLB standings projections. Yeah, here it is. Okay, AL West. Yeah, so they have the Mariners at 88 and 74, and then they have two teams projected to finish 500 according to Fangraphs. The Rangers and the Astros. So we'll look at the Rangers first. Ooh, show us AO versus JR. I think I did pretty well. Okay, we'll take a quick detour for this. All right, how do I find this really quickly? All right, well, I'll do it the old way because right now I don't have the brain power to figure it out on the research tool. So we'll do it this way real quick. We'll check out when I faced him. And then I'll get them on the app and we'll watch the at-bats really quick. Ottavino versus Julio Rodriguez. Get results. It's only 3 at-bats. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. I had subscribed to StatHead. What happened to that? That's annoying. So one was in 22, one was in 23, one was in 24. I want to say the first 2 were at home. And then 24 was in Seattle. Okay, let's try it that way. Seattle versus Mets, 2022. So it's one of these 2 games. I'm going to just guess. All right, here's the first ever at-bat. Me versus Julio. Here we go. So wait, what's the circumstances here? All right, we're down 1 in the 9th, so I'm pitching here to keep us within 1. First pitch slider way off the plate. Nothing new there. Now this one will probably be the same. Closer, but it's a ball. So I always had this problem. I felt like in this situation, like leadoff hitter, first batter, you know they're taking, and you go to throw a first pitch slider. And like you just want to just place it in there, but because you're not aggressive enough with your mindset, like you're literally thinking just you're aiming it too much. And I would do this a lot. I would go in there and I wouldn't throw aggressively, maybe the first or 2 pitches until I got a strike. I mean, you see the speed on these is only 78.5, and so that's kind of what happens here. I messed myself up by not just throwing the damn thing, and I think I do it here in a row, 3 in a row. Yeah, aim it again, and now it's 3 in a row, and I'm pissed. Anyway, let's come back in the count. Sinker. We'll take it. Sinker again. And he backed me into a corner. I couldn't go slider there, obviously, because I just threw 3 sliders in a row off the plate away. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't take a better pass at this, but this jammed him pretty good. And now I do think I have to go back to the slider now. Yeah, back to the slider. And this one, 81 miles an hour, means I actually threw this ball. And even though it's kind of down the middle, it's the first one he saw for a strike, and it had negative 21. So we get the pop out. So that was the first at bat. All right, let's find the next one. Seattle versus the Metros, 2023. Pitched in 2 of these games also. I want to say it was the day game. Incorrect. Seattle versus the Mets, 2023, and it was the night game. All right, so shit. So I gave up a home run to J.P. Crawford on a changeup. This tied the game. Or no, this lost the game. Excuse me. Fuck me. 94-5, right down the damn line. Home run. Then I was pissed, and I struck out Julio on 3 pitches. So let's see it. Sweeper for a strike. Good catch by Narvaez. Quick step. Sweeper for swing and miss. And then sinker backdoor, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, perfect pitch. Sit down, sir. Just watch that again because this was nice. All right, and then this other one also was a horrible outing by me. This one actually probably, this outing might have ended my career in a lot of ways, but I did strike him out in it. 2024. Yeah, it was Sunday Night Baseball, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Cal Raleigh just homered off me. First pitch, cutter, destroyed. 3-run home run, not my runs, but still. Stupid ass pitch. Anyway, then Julio came up, and I took out my anger on him again. Taken all the way on a sinker. The rare right-on-right cutter. Kind of worked in a weird way. Went for the back door. Sinker, foul, and then 4-seam down take, I believe. Yeah, 4-seam down take. And that's it. So 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and a pop-out. It's whatever. And that's when the legend of Cal Raleigh was started. Well, he didn't need me. It's home runs off lots of guys. Don't forget about that. Last year, Tatis was 73rd percentile on chase, 90th percentile for walks, polar opposite of Julio. Yeah. Bet they're on sweepers away. Well, you bet wrong, Phil. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, sort of, but my slider always worked up in the zone. Like, because guys swing under it, they think it's going to drop down to the middle. So, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to pitch that day, that Sunday. I was, like, not supposed to be in there. And the game was a close game early in that game, that Sunday night game. And I think it was Stanek ahead of me that got in really big trouble, give up like 3 or 4 runs, and then left more out there, and I had to try to go in and bail him out, and it did not go well. Cal Raleigh smacked my shit. Seems like besides Julio, the Mariners gave you a trouble. Is that a thing? I mean, I didn't face them a whole lot. I did all right. I did all right with them at times. Anyway, that's it for the Mariners. We'll do the Rangers next because they're projected next according to Fangraphs. All right, so Rangers. They made some moves. They did the Semien for Nimmo thing. I don't know if we have any Ranger fans here, but it definitely seemed like that relationship was icy, huh? Between Seager and Semien. So I saw Seager talking about it a little bit the other day. It just seemed icy. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, Nimmo's there now. They swapped veterans. Very, very rare trade. Then Wyatt, little alligator arms, Langford, good player. Corey Seager, who I think is one of the best players. Jock Peterson, who was really bad last year, but you can never, ever bet against Jock Peterson because if he gets hot, he's hot. Jake Berger, who I think is a good player. Evan Carter looked like the second coming. It's crazy because he's only 23 and a half. Shows you how young that was when he was doing his thing in the World Series a couple years ago. So we'll see. Josh Young, Josh Smith earned that spot, and Danny Jansen. So on paper, this team should be better offensively. You can expect some bounce backs. They got to keep Seager on the field. He's their aircraft carrier, and they need somebody to hit behind him. I don't love the lefty, righty, lefty, lefty there that's projected here. Nimmo will be intriguing if his foot healed up at all. Um, and so offensively, they have to be better because the pitching staff last year was actually the best one in terms of runs allowed in the whole league. And it's kind of unfair to expect that again. So it's Jake, who's now basically 38. Nathan Evaldi, who we love, but it's hurt all the time. Mackenzie Gore, which was a savvy trade. We liked it at the time, but we'll see what they do with him. And Jack Leiter. So both Gore and Leiter looking to make the jump into being more than just potential and like pretty solid, like actually looking real, like, to be really good, to be a force. And then Latz. So they have upside there in the rotation. They also have some serious downside in that rotation, both from an age and injury standpoint at the top and from a have like been there, done that standpoint in the middle. And then in the bullpen, they were also really good last year. But this is just a weird bullpen to me. I don't think it's going to be in the high end. I know that's a good place to pitch. But, C-Mart's 40. Alexis Diaz is a total wild card. Splenda. Tyler Alexander is like a control guy. Spores has been hurt for like over a year. Garcia's good. Cole Winn maybe. So I'm not really big on their pitching staff actually. I mean, it's crazy because they were the best last year, but I dare I say they're not going to do that again. They're not going to do that again. So who am I gonna pick on the Rangers, and how are we feeling about the Rangers in here? I think Nimmo has recurring plantar fasciitis. Yeah, he does. It's also the all Caucasian lineup. The Great Whites. A lot of whites in this lineup, and a lot of J names. Oh, Jock did the best shape of his life thing in spring. Jock's what a fascinating player to have played against all these years. He he was a 5-tool player, like a legitimate 5-tool player his rookie year. Speed, power, he's just natural athlete. This guy was a all-state wide receiver in California. Like, and then he just kind of was like, I'm going to be a chubby guy who whacks homers. And for a while, he was really good at it. Even 2 years ago, look at this freaking season with the Diamondbacks, I believe. 908 OPS, 23 bombs, 393 on base. He's the type of guy that's pitchable, but the consequences are usually dire if you don't execute. It wasn't the case last year. He was really bad early. He also had really bad luck. But a 613 OPS, looking to turn that around big time. But he's just been a fascinating player to have faced all these years and have played against. And on top of that, I feel like he's married into crazy money, and he's just like living like this weird fantasy life. But absolute 5-tool player when he first came up, that kind of settled into this righty whacker, one-trick pony guy, but like usually pretty good at it. And it makes sense he would do the best shape of his life thing because this was the worst year of his life. 0.3, negative 0.3 WAR, and a 181 batting average. It was tough to swallow. That was a tough year, no doubt about it. All right, what else we got here? Seager's one of the best players in the league when he's healthy, top 10 in the league if he's healthy. Well, you certainly have seen what he's done in the postseason. He's got the ability to be so locked in at the plate, short swing, always ready to hit, thoroughbred. I mean, really just an incredible player for a reason, but also a very quiet type of guy. And he's also been sneaky hurt in and out of the lineup quite a bit the last few years. Gore's career ERA in July is a jump scare. I know I've seen that, and I've often thought that, because I've seen McKenzie a lot in spring trainings, and I've often thought that he gets it going. He looks a little too good too soon, often early in the season. What else we got in here? I don't think Max and the Rangers were a great marriage when they were there. I could see this being a Littell spot. And we don't know what's going on with Kumar right now. Kumar was a he's been a very interesting study in that he's famous for this death ball slider that he had at Vandy, and then also when he first came to the big leagues, it's this pitch right below the zone. This is going to be, of course, this is going to be a pop-up on it, so it's a weird batted ball type for this type of pitch. And when he first got to the big leagues, this thing was disgusting. And then last year, he really worked away from the usage on it. Like, went all the way down to 16% usage. And he upped this cutter, which doesn't have any type of impressive movement on it. And so he thrust this way more into the game plan. So I don't really know what they're doing. It seemed like not very good advice. He got hit hard, and he was throwing hard, and he just got hit really hard, man. Really hard. Just got hit flat out. So we'll see. We'll see how they continue to develop this guy, and if he can, stay in the rotation, or whether he becomes some sort of interesting reliever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. The Rangers they're going with these other guys right now. I think Latz has the inside edge for that fifth spot. And then do they have anybody else in camp that we know of? Let's see. Well, I don't know any of these names. The NRIs, Cal Quantrill, Austin Gomber, maybe. What do the Rangers have for prospects? I don't remember even looking at the Rangers prospects. So Sebastian Walcott, he's out for the year. Jose Corniel, who just got up there. Winston Santos, who just got up there. So those are their next two. Really, this is actually, they have 1, 2, 3 guys that debuted last year that are in their top 5 in terms of prospects. So here's Jose Corniel. He only pitched 1 game, and it did not go well in the big leagues. But he dominated in the minors in 13 starts, 1.89 ERA. 55 slider, 55 fastball, 50 cutter, 50 changeup. Okay, Winston Santos. Did he get up? Yeah, he got up, obviously. 2025. He didn't pitch hardly at all. Got a 60 grade on a slider, which is pretty good. Max is at 98 with natural cut. Okay. These guys sound like relievers so far, but we'll see. David Davalio. Davalio. Yeah, that's got to be it. 22 starts. This guy at least made it to Double-A. So he's getting in there. Looks like they all got put on the roster, but excuse me. Sorry about that. Anyway, I was curious to see what they had. All right, what do we got here in the chat? Dallas Braden was saying Semien was the type of guy he couldn't believe anyone would have a problem with. I wonder what the story is. Seager likes a pretty easygoing personality type too. From what I gather, and I don't know this, from what I gather, I think Semien was trying to hold people accountable, and he might have pissed Seager off a little bit. So we'll see. Feels like the bullpen will be their detriment. I always thought Stern should have taken a chance with Alexis Garcia. Might have helped Diaz. Alexis Diaz, you mean? That was always rumored that Alexis was going to come to the Mets, but I don't know. His career just went crazy really fast. No, I don't want to watch all my painful memories, Jared. No thanks. How many times did I drill Jock? I don't think I ever hit Jock. Widest lineup since integration. How does an MLB player marry into money? He's made over 50 mil, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure her dad is like one of the top 4 executives at Apple. So there's levels to this shit. What sport is on the Olympics right now? 2025, Eovaldi was quietly one of the best pitching seasons of the 21st century. He just didn't get enough innings. He's so good, though. And we watched him a lot on the stream last year because I love to show just how good he is at keeping them off balance and mixing it up. But yeah, 22 games started with a 1.73 and a .854 whip is pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Yeah. Walcott, he's gone. Littell would be a great fit. Which team do I think has improved pitching-wise most? Not sure about that yet. Jared, earlier on the stream, I congratulated you on Michaela winning gold. I congratulated you personally. Just so you know. Anyway, let's see. Evaldi was on a Bob Gibson pace before his injury. You guys are funny in the chat tonight. All right, so let me do my Rangers picks. Do I think they're going to finish in second in this division? I think the Astros might be better than them, and I think the A's might be coming. And I could see some things falling off with this team. So my pick to click. So I think the change of scenery. I'm just going to say I think this is the year that Mackenzie Gore gets the ERA under 4. I think that he, takes another step forward. Well, he's been pretty durable. It's like I could see this being the year that he puts up the good year. 27 years old this year, put up like a 3.3 and like 180 innings. So I'm going to pick Gore to pop. He's got good stuff, man. It's not great stuff, but he's got good stuff. He throws hard for a lefty. He's now all of a sudden in a great ballpark to pitch and really a great division to pitch, except for it's where the A's play in Sacramento. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Mackenzie Gore. I think there's just no way this guy is mediocre for long. So that's my pick to click. My pick to take a step back on this club. Well, I think the bullpen ultimately lets this team down in general. But my step back guy, I kind of don't want to bet against too many of these hitters. I feel like they're all right. Like they all have bounce backish potential. I think Langford might be starting to take off a little bit. I'm just gonna say this is the year Chris Martin walks some batters. All right, I'm not gonna say he's gonna pitch bad, but maybe he walks a few batters this year. Maybe he's not the lowest. Oh, that's not Corbin Martin. We want Chris Martin. The singer from Coldplay. That's the thing. It's hard for anybody to take a step back offensively after last year. Good point, Maya. I think the bullpen is the weak point of this team, and I like C-Mart. We were teammates way back in the day with the Rockies. He's holding it down for the old guys. His story's awesome, and really his walk rate is the story of his career. Let me just show you something here. If you guys didn't know, well, they don't have all of them here, but in the two that they do have, he's 100th percentile in walk rate. And last year was no exception, 4% walks. So when you do that, you're pretty good. Maybe this is the year it kind of bounces. He kind of strays from that a little bit, or something goes haywire. I mean, he's old, so I'm just gonna say that. But I just think generally the bullpen's gonna let them down a little bit. Any thoughts on Danny Coulomb? He's put up great numbers when he has pitched the last few years. Yeah, I've been surprised he hasn't signed yet. I don't know what's going on here. How do you spell this guy's name? C-O-U? It was funny. When I was with the Yankees, he was in camp with us. We didn't give him any chances, no looks. But he was there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, look at the last 3 years on the field. 2.81, 2.12, 2.30. 2 years ago, he had a .67 whip. That's a joke. And all doing it with a 90.3 mile an hour heater. And a lot of walks. Just an impossible guy to hit, I guess. Really cutty four-seam. Somebody's going to benefit from him, but he has had the health issues, so I wonder if that's part of it. Man, big fall off the mound. Big fall off the mound. All right, so that's it for the Rangers. Fangraphs has them finishing in second. I don't really think so. I think this next team probably still finishes in second. And that's the old trash can bangers of the of Houston. Not that they're doing that anymore, but Jeremy Pena, Jordan, Altuve, Correa, Walker, Loperfido, Yennier Diaz, Zach Cole, Jake Myers. I mean, I'm still very intrigued by this lineup. The big fulcrum in this lineup is Alvarez. If Jordan plays, they go. He's one. Simply put, he's a top 5 hitter. He's that good. He's one of the few guys in my career that I studied and I just was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He's too good. So they have to figure out this Isak Paredes thing and whether they're going to carry all these infielders. There's a chance this group could get a little bit better. Also, I think there's a chance Cam Smith could still pop. He's only 23 years old. I mean, they haven't projected on the bench here. We'll see. Nick Allen's an awesome defender, but he's never going to really play. And I love Hunter Brown, and I'm very intrigued by Imai, and I love the trade that they end up making to get Burrows. I am concerned a little bit about Javier, and I'm always concerned at this point about McCullers because he's been hurt so much. So, I see some comments in here. Houston's depth is so ASS. And then what are they going to do with Paredes? I think this is the biggest factor. Canadian baseball's on it. Jordan needs to stay in the lineup. He's just too good. Now, in the bullpen, they're already in a little bit of trouble because Hader is not feeling good in spring training, and that's starting to not look great. He's having some shoulder issues at this point. Don't love that. Abreu can easily slide in as closer, but this has made him more expensive over the years, and he's going to be a free agent after this year. Then after that, they got guys with stuff, Nate Pearson down there, Eniel Dos Santos, and I don't truthfully know a ton about a lot of their depth guys in their bullpen. But without Hader, that throws away the balance of the whole bullpen. Plus, he's making a ton of money, and you need him out there. If you're going to have Abreu as more of that 7th, 8th inning fireman guy, then you're cooking with gas. But they don't at the moment. Now, these guys were hurt early last year or no? Ronel Blanco got surgery in June, so he's probably not coming back. Maybe the end of the year. Wesneski got surgery in May. Not much before that. So maybe he comes back at the end of the year. Do they have any wow, Kevin Biggio's in camp as an NRI. Taylor Trammell, Zach DeCenzo. Eric Getty's been in the mix for a few years. Jason Alexander's been in the mix for a few years, right? Just commanding it. JP France. I'm not in love with their depth at all. That could undo them. They have to do something with their Paredes situation. But Jordan to me is just such a monster. And also Hunter Brown is such a monster. I didn't really accentuate that enough. If I had to pick a Cy Young Award winner from the American League that's not Skubal or Crochet, I think Hunter Brown would be the next guy. He'd be pretty close to it. He'd be right there, along with Max Fried and a few others. He's right there. Definitely a little worried about Hader, but he seems to be okay and on track. He needs to be okay and on track. I think that's going to be very important. This team has a ton of experienced vets slowing down though, and bodies breaking. Will make 162 games a challenge. Yeah, I mean, I think if you catch this team at the wrong moment, they're going to feel like a real threat. But it's delicate. It's a delicate cast. It's a delicate house of cards a little bit. I'm still going to pick them ahead of Houston. Yeah, Jordan is gives off some Big Poppy vibes, honestly. He's that fucking good. Now, did Altuve slow down at all last year? I know he did a little bit. It's just this guy's a freak. Yeah, only a 0.5. Only a 0.5 WAR last year. So this was his worst year in a while. It's still a 771 OPS. It's not horrible production, and nobody wants to face him. Actually did okay against Altuve over the years, but man, 0.5 WAR. That's not good. That's sketchy. They're gonna need to have better performance out of him. The last 2 years have been discouraging, but especially the last year. Okay. And then we know about Correa. I do like the fact that he's playing at third at least. He cannot play short anymore. So you're right. You're right. The pedigree is there, but the actual where they are right now as ball players is not as impressive. He did hit 290 last year with Houston. I like him at third. I think he'll be. I think he's young enough to easily be back to a 3 or 4 WAR player though. I do. Altuve, it might be over. I don't know. I'm getting nervous now looking at that drop off there. Let me look at Altuve by Statcast actually. Making me nervous about this team a little bit. Maybe I'm not as high on them, but I just love Hunter Brown so much and I love Jordan so much. I guess that's only 2 guys. So here's Jose last year. Wow. He just doesn't strike out, and he's really good at pulling balls in the Crawford boxes, obviously. But yeah, man, everything else looks pretty crappy, even on defense. Where are we at in the overall decline? All right, so sprint speed, something that he actually was sneaky really good at. He's not good at anymore. The fielding is putrid now. The walks are going away. The chase has always been low. I mean, always been bad, but now it's incredibly bad. Bat speed sort of going down. He never hit the ball hard, never hit the ball, never was a barrel guy. I mean, there's still a Hall of Fame type player in there, but he has definitely begun a rapid decline here. And that makes me very sad to admit. Very sad to admit. He's trying really hard to make up for it by trying to ambush the crap out of the league. Look at the last 2 years, the 2 years where he scuffled. You could see he's afraid to get behind in the count. 46% first pitch swing in 24, 45, and 25. So that's pretty telling as well. All right, now let me go look at the guy that I'm in love with. Because he didn't play much last year, but when he did play, you can see that whole thing is about as rojo as it gets. I know it was only a 797 OPS, but clearly that's unlucky considering all the other metrics. And look at the previous years went on field, 959, 990. They can only win if he plays. They can only win if he plays. So actually does make me want to drop them behind the Rangers. And maybe I'm not as high on either of these teams. So let me do my picks. I mean, I'm going to pick Hunter Brown to exceed expectations, and I know his expectations are high, but I think Hunter Brown's going to go to the next level this year. And really, I'm also gonna pick Imai because I'm a big believer in Imai, and I think he's gonna actually translate really, really well. But let me take a quick look at Hunter Brown. So it's both of these pitchers I think are gonna be my guys to exceed. But he's right there, folks. 185 and a third last year, 31 games started, 2.43 ERA. Really good pitcher, has both types of fastballs, has that top to bottom curveball. Pitches with an edge. Detroit kid, that's nasty. That was a great view of it too. That's filth. And he's just a dog out there. So I'm big on him. Hunter has an issue with meatballs, doesn't he? What is his meatball percentage? Nah, league average. But if you're talking about his weight, maybe mass is gas for Hunter Brown. I don't know. Altuve should have been a skier. Low center of gravity, still has good knees. You know, I feel like not a lot of Venezuelan skiers out there. People would have said a horse jockey, but then that's just mean. He's not that short. Maybe he is. I don't know. He's so good, though. They were playing Altuve in left. The whole team last year felt discombobulated. Left field move didn't really work. The Correa trade might have in actuality been an MLB The Show type of move. Yeah, I'm starting to really not really feel so good about this team. They do generally have the wherewithal to do this, but I do think that they're starting to fall off in a lot of ways. So I'm big on Hunter Brown. I'm also so excited to watch him my pitch. He's going to be interesting. And then my guy to fall off. So Pena was also great last year. Walker can bounce back. I believe in Correa bouncing back. I'm gonna have to go Altuve. I think Altuve is gonna fall off a little bit harder this year. As much as I want to believe in Jose, he's one of my favorite players, probably I've ever gone up against. I think he's so cool as a player. He signed through 2029 too, which is crazy. 53.4 career WAR at second base. That's simply amazing. 2,300 hits. But I think the decline is on. I think we've seen enough to know that. So I actually think Oakland might be better than both the Rangers and the Astros. I think they might arrive ahead of schedule a little bit. Now, they're going to be the next team that we're going to go over undoubtedly here. But yeah, they're only projected one win worse than them. So the machine, the Fangraphs machine says it's pretty damn close too. And yeah, I know I said Oakland, sorry. I mean the A's. So we're going to go to the A's. And the A's are a quick study because we talked about them a lot. And I'm also getting a little tired here. Kurtz, Langoliers, Soderstrom, Rooker, McNeil, Wilson, Butler, Muncy, Clark. Love the position player group. Love the youth. I think Nick Kurtz can keep it up. I think Langoliers can keep it up. I think Butler can have a bounce back. I think McNeil was an interesting pickup that could pay off. I love Rooker, everything about Rooker. They just extended Soderstrom. Denzel Clark is a beast in center field. Jacob Wilson got the extension as well. He's slapping balls all over the place. It's the pitching. The pitching has been dog shit. They play in a horrible place to pitch. But they made a couple moves. Savali got brought in there. Lopez was sneaky decent last year. Morales has good stuff. Sevy needs to figure out how to pitch in that ballpark. They'll be competitive on the mound, but obviously it's a bottom fifth. It's a bottom half of the league rotation. No way about it. No way around it. And it's a complete unknown bullpen except for Mark Leiter, who actually think and Scott Barlow, which I think were sneaky little pickups. I think this team's going to be good though. I think this offense might be for real right now. I'd love for them to get more pitching. For goodness sakes, go sign somebody. Who would fit with this team? I keep saying Littell. I don't think this is a Giolito spot. Go get Michael Kopech. Go get Michael Kopech and make him your closer. Go do that. Go get Zach Littell and Michael Kopech, and now we're cooking with gas. Right? I love how everybody's calling them Oakland. Good. Thank you, guys. They should be Oakland. Rooted in Oakland, baby. Yeah, the issue is he's been swinging at the first pitch too much, it looks like. And he's too good at making contact, so he's probably hitting a lot of pitchers' pitches in play. That would be my guess. But he's also physically, gone. Not the same. Oakland needs a pitching staff. They don't have one. They're close. They don't have one. They're close. Yeah, Pena. University of Maine Black Bears. Dominican guy in Orono, Maine. Very strange, but I love it anyway. Yeah, see, we're high on the A's. We're high on the A's. I think the A's are going to finish in second place in this league, in this division. That's my thoughts. They should have signed Michael King. I think that they actually probably had offers out to a lot of good players, but I think there's still some hesitation to go play in Sacramento. Although, I don't know, if I was a pitcher, I'd be looking at this staff. I mean, this lineup these young guys that would be around me while I'm on the bump, and I'd be like, I could fuck with this team. I really could. And just Kurtz and Langoliers are special. Special. I don't think Sevy has any interest in figuring out how to pitch in the ballpark. I would say that's fair. I will say, though, one thing about Sevy is he pitches his best after he feels disgraced or embarrassed. You look at both times he reemerged, it was similar circumstances. The year with the Yankees that went sideways, he came back much stronger off of that. And then the year with the Mets was also a return to form after a really bad year the previous year. And so I think sometimes he needs to get knocked down a little bit to kind of show what he can do. Let me just show you two guys, though, that are so special. Nick Kurtz. Oh, my God. The big Amish had 1,000 OPS last year as a rookie. And it looked every bit as legit as anything. Now, he's got a little bit of that Schwarber Judge thing going on, but guess what? Those guys are Schwarber and Judge. They're the best. Too little whiff, too little K. He doesn't even square the ball up, yet he still drops bombs. Kind of sucks playing first base, but he's a stupid hitter, including all of these Oppo tanks. He keeps his hands back so early, and then he can do that thing where he just kind of opens up but bat lags it, and his donkey power just to left is just, it's honestly stupid. I really think he's Jim Tomei. I really do. I think this is young Jim Tomei, and I'm so excited to watch him this year. So here's just another home run we're going to watch. Chase Silseth, who clearly has too much hot stuff on his right shoulder, get taken onto the freaking rocks. My goodness. I freaking love this guy, the pride of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And then get a little look at that. Get a look at that arm. Is that hot stuff? He's going no undershirt, and the hot stuff is bleeding through his jersey. The equipment manager hates you, bro. But I get it. Your arm probably hurts. So you gotta cut that pain, baby. Wham, look at that swing. What a freak. Anyway, so Big Amish is unreal. As well as Shea Langoliers, who is also incredible. 31 home runs as a catcher, 861 OPS. And really in the second half, he was even better. And he's just getting started. He runs. He's athletic for a catcher. He had incredible at-bats against Skubal last year. He showed me so much. So those are my two favorite players on the team. And probably their best players. But they have such a good team. So my pick to reemerge is easy. It's Lawrence Butler. He's too talented to not reemerge. He got his knee fixed finally. We talked to him on the show early. When you're around this guy, he's so toolsy, he's so big. It's not going to take long for him to reemerge, especially playing in this ballpark, laying in the weeds in this lineup. I expect him to be back up around 800 OPS this year. He's my pick to click. My pick to take the step back. I don't really know. I mean, I bet you. The bullpen is what's going to let this team down. But I'm not going to pick that. Offensively, yeah, I'll probably pick Jacob Wilson to maybe not be as impressive this year. I feel like people will figure out how to pitch him a little bit better this year. And I like his game. But, it's pretty reliant on these balls falling in. Pretty reliant on these balls falling in. So, both kind of stupid picks in a lot of ways. And I'm rooting for both of these guys to be great, but that's what I'm going with right now. So let me see what we got in the chat. There'll always be Oakland in our hearts. Is there a game today already? There's spring training games going on? No. Mad Max is available. Watching him pitch in Sacramento would be hilarious. There's no way he goes to Sac. No way. Love the combo. The Lotel and Kopech combo. Lotel and Kopech. Give me that combo. How do I think McNeil does in Sacra, Oakland? I think he does fine. He played better in the second half. He makes sense as an A. I think he fits well in the lineup. He was actually sneaky a little bit better last year. I think the batting average comes back up to 270 plus. And we'll see if he can continue his power approach. I do like him in this ballpark. He's got a chance. QO made signing King tougher. How much is being minor league ballpark hurt their chances of getting players and free agents? I think it definitely hurts a little bit, but it's just guys who have other options are going to go other places. it's like any other team. They offer the most money for that player within that player's market. They have a good shot. So yeah. Yes, Nick Kurtz is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He is. Well, he went to Wake Forest, but he is. He is. I know. I have to put this up for you, Maya, real quick. I know you love what he does. Ooh, 500-foot home run off the batter's eye. Which one is that? Is that this one? 2-2. It's off of his current new teammate, Barlow. Over the batter's eye. I mean, he's blowing the minds of his teammates. So that's all you need to know. He's a freak. He is Jim Tomei. Oh, I love the comps in the chat. Roman Anthony equals Carl Yastrzemski. He's got the cheese on him, Carl. He's got the cheese. By moving to a new city and supposedly a better revenue stream, are the days of Oakland being a farm system for other teams over or simply delayed? We don't know what it looks yet like in Vegas. We don't know. We don't know yet. We just don't know yet. I also don't know the answer to this. I mean, Neil had thoracic outlet last season. Last offseason, has it affect hitters? Not really sure. Not as much as pitchers, obviously, but not really sure. Yeah, have you seen Scoop? Go check out Scooble's legs next time. He's got some weird stuff going on, but he's not the thing. Jacob Wilson is gonna regress. That's what I think. That's what I think potentially. The Sacrum Oakland A's. Yeah, spicy stuff. Who would you rather have, Nick Kurtz or Roman Anthony? Roman Anthony. If that's how much I like Roman Anthony, but Nick Kurtz is right there. But Roman's gonna play a position other than first. And he's got a chance to be just as good as Nick Kurtz offensively, which is crazy. Have I ever scoped my elbow or shoulder? No. I've done a lot of weird stuff, but I only had one surgery, and it's the old Thomas Johnson. That's about it. All right, so we did my picks with Houston with the A's. We're sending them into second place, and now we'll go crap all over the Angels. I don't hate what they did. They're kind of in a weird spot. Everybody's on a 1-year deal in management. Mike Trout's demanding to play center now, which he might as well. I mean, Joe Adell's dog shit out there too. So, whatever. But it's just like, this is like, who the hell knows about this team? This club, this franchise just has bad vibes though. Neto, who I like, Shanuel, who I'm mid on, Trout, who's the legend, but is like kind of, we don't know where he's at in his career. Moncada, who had a horrible year, comes back for way less money. Joe Adell had a breakout year, but there's insanely bad strikeouts, swing and miss, defense. He's a one-trick pony with power. Josh Lowe will be a good addition for them, I think. Soler and Ohapi and Moore are all in the same boat as Adell and Trout, really, at this point. Right-handed guys who have power, but too much swing and miss and all of that stuff, you know? I like watching all these guys play, but you can't have too many of the same type of guys. That's why Perry Manassian did have to go out and re-sign Moncada and get Josh Lowe. At least then they have some lefties in the lineup. This is the bench. Darno, who's like sort of a coach over there, who I love. Vaughn Grisham, who is like really trying to reestablish himself in the big leagues. He was completely buried over there in Boston after the Sale trade. I don't know what happened there. Combination, I would think his fault and their fault. I don't know. Adam Frazier's on an NRI. He'll try to fight his way onto the club. And Teodosio is a good outfielder, like defender type of guy. I have no confidence that this team's offense is going to do anything. They're too pitchable. They're way too effing pitchable. Neto's their best player at this point, I think. Best all-around player. Maya sees it. Zach Neto is the most underrated shortstop. I think Neto might be their best all-around player. Now, Christian Moore can maybe develop into that. Ohapi needs to have a big bounce back, but it's not great, folks. Vaughn Grissom has been passed around like a dirty shirt. Tommy John's surgery somehow should have patented that surgery with his name being so much. Yeah. Mike Trout has 14 years service time. He has been playing a long time. I said this one before. I would pick Griffin in this case. And that's hard. But I would take Griffin in that case. All right. O'Hoppe. Another Northeast guy, Long Island kid, tremendous individual, future leader of this team, says Carl. Well, a lot of catchers are future leaders, and I've heard good things about O'Hoppe. And when he first came up, he showed some propensity to whack some balls. But he was another one of these righties, just too many strikeouts last year, 5th percentile whiff, 4th percentile K, 26th percentile chase. The defense backed up. He was just a bad player last year. So I'd like to see more of the 2023 before he got hurt. Logan O'Hoppe, who was showing his power. I believe the defense might have even profiled a little better at that point. I mean, the sprint speed was better. Yeah, the framing and the blocking were both better. So he's got a long way to go. We know he has the skill set, and Carl says he likes the mindset and the makeup of the individual, which is great. But we're gonna have to see it. Last year was a lost year for the kid, so rooting for him, of course, from Long Island. So we'll see. Bring back Mike Scioscia. A lot of guys didn't like Mike Scioscia, believe it or not. There forever. Pretty good Simpsons character, too. Angels can't get out of their own way. Whoa, I think calling Neto the best player is major Mike Trout disrespect. I'm saying right now, like at this particular moment, I love Mike Trout. I love Mike Trout. Mike Trout's kind of a, we'll see how he is defensively this year. It's crazy. He did have basically an 800 OPS last year with 26 pumps. He just strikes out so much now. It's just so crazy. The whole league knows how to pitch him. Neto, I believe, was hurt quite a bit last year, but Neto's a really good player, guys. All around. Now, I know his range, his defense was bad last year. It's been better in the past. When he first came up, he was tremendous at short. Tyler Anderson, who really knows ball, who played with him, was like, this kid can pick it at short. I don't know what happened the last 2 years, but he had 71 per 71st percentile outs above average in 23. So we're going to need a bounce back. I like Neto a lot, though. You know, it's a speed power combo. Bat speed could be worse. Who's here?
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to know who put her ballerina farm croissants in the fridge.
Probably me.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
Mom, he said probably,
Like tonight? So are they not going to work? Okay. All right, I'm almost done. All right, so anyway, we're going to see what happens with this Neto situation, but you're all right. Trout did put up better numbers than him last year. So that's a thing. On the pitching side of things, Kikuchi, Soriano, Detmers, Grayson, and Manoah. So the bottom two are like complete wild cards. Grayson, health-wise, he did look good when he was out there for the Orioles 2 years ago. Manoah, it's been a while since we've seen him be good. It's interesting that he's already projected to be in here. We need to watch him a little bit in his spring outings. I'm sure they have backup plans. In that rotation. Kikuchi's been okay. Soriano's sneaky pretty good. Detmer's bounced back last year, but he's kicked between this rotation and the bullpen. So it's not exactly locked down. Now, in the bullpen, they went and made a ton of signings, and a lot of these I kind of don't hate. Pomeranz, I like that signing. I love the Brent Suter signing, too. He's sneaky good. Romano could bounce back and needs to bounce back, as he had a year from hell with the Phillies. Kirby Yates, he's 39 years old. He was injured and kind of not the same with the Dodgers, but if he can just like recapture it for a month or two, when he has it going better than anybody. So they have some more arms than usual. They finally don't have to deal with this guy being around anymore. That wasn't going very well. Ben Joyce is a guy that I wish I could watch still pitch, but he throws too hard to stay healthy probably. Here's some of their NRIs, because they threw everything at the wall this year. Heimer Candelario, Trey Mancini, Chris Taylor, Nick Madrigal, Yolmer Sanchez, like literally anybody who's ever played in the big leagues. Oswald Peraza, Denzer Guzman's there. It's like one of their one prospects that's pretty good. Infielder, kind of blocked by Neto. Kyron Paris is a guy with huge tools who went up there a little bit. Matthew Lugo, I believe, used to be a Red Sox. And then these are their young pitchers. Nobody very highly rated. Ryan Johnson was a weird one who made the club last year without ever pitching in the minors. Kind of has a weird goggle thing going on with a slide step. So they have some names, but they've really struggled developing their own players, especially pitchers. And generally speaking, you can't give this team the benefit of the doubt on anything. So that's the biggest thing. How have the Angels not thought of trying to add Littell or Kopech could flip them at the deadline? I don't know what they're doing. I don't know that they think about flipping, you know? It's crazy. AO versus Mike Trout. Not tonight. Trout's first 2 months were so bad, even though he was making good contact, skewed his entire year. What's a ballerina farm croissant? Very good. They're very good. Apparently, I did something wrong. So I might be in the doghouse. Didn't mean to do that, though. Pomeranz grinding, another guy who married very well in an interesting way as well, financially. But also, I mean, just like he loves baseball, I think. He was out for 4 years, got healthy, pitched great last year for the Cubbies, and now he's going to keep rolling. So I'm happy to see that. Top 3 local pizzerias near me. All right. Johnny's in Mount Vernon, Sal's in Mamaroneck, and then we'll say Grigg Street in Greenwich, Connecticut. Mike Scioscia got radiation poisoning from the Springfield nuclear plant, yet tired of the everyday grind of baseball life. He's content living a quiet life, working at a nuclear plant in Springfield. Yes, Mike Scioscia. 3 games on MLB tomorrow. So it's all starting really quickly, huh? So many teams don't spend money and are bad. The Angels are unique in spending and still being bad. I know, it's been tough. I do think that they might clear house completely after this year and start over. And let me tell you, that's a hell of a place to run a ball club. I would love to be the GM of the Angels or the manager of the Angels in a heartbeat. That would be, it's crazy because as a player, I don't like playing in that ballpark, but as a manager, it would be so chill. That would be in my top 6. That'd be my top 6. Jared wants to shout out Broadway Pizza in North Armonk. When you were a player, did you have a favorite place meal to have? I ate all over the place, but like steak and eggs in the morning, like I was a big like meat and vegetables guy, rice. Just fuel for the body. It's pretty much where I was at. All right, we're about to wrap this thing up. Who are my picks to click and my pick to step back? Well, my pick to click is Zach freaking Neto. Zach Neto is going to be my guy that takes the step forward. So I'm picking Zach Neto. And my guy to take the step back is going to be, I'm going to say Yusei Kikuchi. He just can't seem to get over the hump. He's more good than great in the big leagues. Very tantalizing guy. And I think maybe this year he falls off a little bit more. Let's go look at some of his underlying metrics to see what I'm maybe thinking here, if it makes any sense. Still throws awfully hard for a lefty, 94.8. Kind of a blah shape. Let me go look at his kind of curious at Kikuchi's Stuff Plus real quick, what Eno has to say. Has him down as a 95 Stuff Plus last year. So, it looks like the decline might have started to begin stuff-wise. Interesting to note. And, Kikuchi is my pick to regress a little bit. And my final picks for the division in my order this year, I am going to put Mariners as a clear favorite. I have the A's finishing second. I have the Rangers finishing third and the Astros cratering to fourth. I did not like them as we looked into them even a little bit deeper. And then the Angels. I even think there's a world in which the Angels could leapfrog the Astros too. I think the Astros really are vulnerable this year, especially if Hader doesn't actually get it together. And like they need huge bounce backs from Altuve and Correa. I don't think you can necessarily bank on it. So that's my rankings. That is my rankings. All right, what else we got here? What city has the best food? I don't know. California. Anywhere in California. San Diego, LA. Obviously, Chicago. Miami's got good food. Toronto's got great food. New York is always the best. There's good barbecue places, certain places. I mean, everywhere has something, but you know, I like the coasts. What else we got here? Got a chance to see a game from the dugout suites in Anaheim. That's where Scott Boras is always sitting back there all the time. Just sitting back there. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more in-depth pizza recommendations. Very true. Very, very true. I think historically, Kikuchi historically has had a pretty above-average fastball and above-average K rate. Don't know what happened to him. He's just been around a long time. He's got the double leg kick. He throws hard. He's got good stuff, but hasn't ever really fully played as well as you would expect. I wonder if that's a little bit of a command thing. And now I think the stuff might slowly be declining. I love Kikuchi when he was in Toronto, really. Hope he can have one more good year, but fear it might be behind him. No, New York's always the best. I was just saying other stuff. Sorry, guys. Obviously, New York's the best. Oh, and Brett's saying that the Ballerina Farm croissants are amazing. My rankings are all wrong. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. It's just one man's opinion. Oh, someone has some explaining to do. It might be me. I don't know what happened. I should have went in the freezer. It might have been my fault. I'm still can't get over this. My rankings are correct, damn it. What I say is true, damn it. Well, we all know that this is baseball and nobody knows nothing. So that's it for the show tonight. We're gonna wrap it up. We'll do one of the Central divisions on Friday. I think I might make it back to a day show that day because Friday night I have Yankees Hot Stove, so I'll be on Yes Network that night. And then go to dinner after that. So no real time for the show, Baseball After Dark. So we'll probably do it at 10 a.m. on Friday. I'll keep that posted on the upcoming. Thank you for hanging with me tonight. This was a fun stream. Obviously, we're talking about most teams that we probably don't have a lot of, skin in the game with, but either way, it was really good. So appreciate you guys hanging with me, bearing with my hoarse voice, and I will see you guys on Friday. Anyway, have a good one. See you guys later. Peace.